Good morning. Welcome to Top of the World News. I'm Jim Lynch. Please like and subscribe. Please follow me on all forms of social media, as well as the Backstage page. We're going to go a little bit off the cuff today. I didn't prepare a lot of notes for this week's edition, so I'm going to apologize ahead of time if I get into a rambling type of a situation. It is what it is. But there are a couple things I wanted to touch on this week with everybody, so we're going to do that now. As I said in weeks past, we're going to kind of change up the format and the types of topics that we discuss and kind of meld the two things that I tend to enjoy and be passionate about, that being sales and disability advocacy, and kind of meld them into a more of a human interest type of a show and make this more of a human interest type of a channel. If you've watched the disability advocacy edition of this show, oftentimes it's just something maybe that had happened in my life over a 2-week period, and then I bring it out as a topic on a Tuesday morning and kind of relate it back to that particular audience. But so that's kind of what we're going to look to do here, and hopefully, folks can get something out of it, whether it be the general population, the disability population, folks in sales, what have you. So that's kind of what the show's going to turn into moving forward. And as I say, we are going to look to do some different things with the show. Hopefully at some point it won't just be me speaking to you. I would like to, incorporate some guests, maybe turn this into a podcast type of a format, but I'm not really sure, how exactly we're going to do that. We're going to try some different things. I'm still looking for feedback, some more feedback from the audience as it relates to what they think we should do and how they think we should do it. And any suggestions would be very much appreciated. But let's get on with today's topic. It was the great Dale Carnegie that once said that you can pick up, and I'm paraphrasing, so I'm going to get this exactly right, but you can get more people in 2 months interested in you if you are showing interest in them than in 2 years if you tried to make them become interested in what it is that you are doing. And we talked about this a lot in the business development edition of TWN, in that you have to give to get. If you give something of yourself, the folks that you're trying to target will tend to give back to you, and oftentimes they will give back to you more than what you initially gave, because you showed an interest in them as people and not just as customers. If you had been, I had a database years ago of clients and potential clients, and just as kind of a throwaway line or a throwaway question, when I was first kind of introducing myself to them, was, "When's your birthday?" And oftentimes they just give it to me. Sometimes they ask me why I asked them that, and I would tell them, I like to send handwritten notes on in or around a client's birthday. Would you mind giving me the information? And if it's April and their birthday's not till November, oftentimes they don't even think about the fact that they did that, and then one day it shows up in the mail, or they're, in modern days, on social media or an email or what have you. But I would send out a handwritten note. Happy birthday, John. Enjoy your day. Signed, Jim. And you'd be surprised how many folks would give me business just based on those acknowledgments because I showed an interest in them. You know, it's the little things in life that tend to get you the furthest. You know, it's the genuine connections that tend to get you the furthest. And as a society, especially as we get busier and you know life gets more involved and we have work and school and kids and whatever else, you know, we sometimes forget to acknowledge the people that mean the most to us. We take for granted the people that tend to mean the most to us. I did that recently. You know, without going into too much detail, I should have acknowledged something that I didn't acknowledge. Speaking of birthday cards, and you know, it's something very easy that could have been very easily solved with a card or a note or a phone call, and I didn't do it. And I'll be quite honest, I do feel, you know, a little bit guilty, but you know, that's, you know, it's water under the bridge, and you say you're sorry and you try to make up for it, but the initial action still took place, so or didn't take place. But you know, you again, and that little gesture probably would have been paid back to me, knowing this particular person tenfold. But you know, as I say, I assume that they knew how I felt, and you know, you should never assume, you know, because life is precious. But you know, we'll move forward. But you know, as I said, it's just kind of a life lesson and something that we should, you know, always try to remember. As you know, Mr. Carnegie tried to remind us in one of his books many years ago, and what I've tried to preach to you guys. Moving forward, I need to practice it, you know, more often, in that you have to give to get. So that's all for this week. We'll see you guys next week, and I hope this tip puts you guys on top of the world too. See you next week.